I think this is going to be a very, very long and frustrating campaign for Celtic. I mean, they might have enough. You suspect they've got enough domestically
Yeah.
to get through it, but it's not going to be it's not going to be a thrill ride. It's not going to be like, I mean, times last season, this time, and this week last year. They were, I mean, this week, I think this week they get battered by Dortmund, so probably a bad example. But up to that week, they knocked St Johnstone for 6, Slovan Bratislava for 5. They were knocking goals left, right, and centre.
That's right.
I think it scored about 30 odd goals by this point. This time last year, I think it was at 17 this time.
They're 19
Um,
down. Aye.
so they're really toiling, and it's going to be a slog up to January until they can get in some reinforcements. But I get the feeling that Rodgers knows that as well because he's admitting it.
Yeah. Mick, it's always a pleasure having you in the Hotline Live. Thanks again for joining us, and safe travels up the road.
Well, you've done my turn because I'm sitting here and Lorraine seems to have eased a wee tad, so I can go and get myself up the road without getting drenched on the way home.
Right. Nice one. Thanks again, Mick.
Catch you later on. Cheers. Bye.
Michael Gannon at Celtic Park there. Keith, I've got plenty of comments on the ghost goal at Celtic Park tonight. Let me get your take on these. Mark says VAR decision was cheating, but we got what we deserved. John Paul O'Donnell says Celtic have been cheated. John says Iheanacho's disallowed goal was ridiculous. Tone says VAR is supposed to work looking at these crazy decisions. The ref gave the goal and the linesman. And John again says it took VAR 3 minutes and they still didn't get the decision right. It was a bad decision.
But that's what's confusing me there, that Mick was there, obviously, and he reckons the referee made the decision on the pitch. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either, but
the goal was given and VAR then intervenes.
It looked to me, I mean, watching on the telly, it looked to me like the ref was doing the whole pointing to his earpiece thing, like, give me a minute, I'm seeing, you know.
Yeah, I certainly had no reason to believe that decision was made on the pitch by the referee, and every reason to believe it was a VAR decision. Now, the only thing that I would say is, and because the angle that you get shown on the TV was from behind the goal, and it just looks as if it comes up and it hits off his cheek, and he goes through. Deflection comes up off the two defenders are tackling each other, actually, aren't they? And Iheanacho kind of hurdles it. Ball comes up, seems to hit his cheekbone, and through he goes. Is there an angle? Because there was another angle from behind it where perhaps his left hand knocks the ball up on his face. But, by the way, I mean, this is, DNA stuff, investigation, to get to that level of detail. I'm at a loss as to understand why the goal didn't stand. But I would say Celtic didn't deserve that goal at that time. It came about through real slack play from a Braga side, which is no better than decent. Let's be honest about it.
They're going through real troubles, Braga, in the league at the minute.
They can't win. I mean, honestly, they've got a similar kind of record domestically to the one that Rangers have got right now.
Yeah.
And the way that they opened up in the first 15 minutes, the way they were passing the ball back the way as well, I'm looking at it going, what's their manager's name? Ruccello Martino. Because it was so similar. But then when they got a feel for it, and when they worked Celtic out, they were passing through them. They were completely dominant. You've got an average side there playing you off your own pitch in Europe. And this is a Celtic side which has got aspirations to be playing Champions League. And 12 months ago was, as Mick said, 12 months ago was the Dortmund game. But after that, the progress that was being made, Celtic are in regression. There's no other way of looking at it. It's absolutely correct. I saw one of the comments there saying that Brendan Rodgers' third season always goes like this.
Yep.
Well, his third season at Celtic last time didn't, because he was well on his way to treble before he left to take the Leicester job. And Celtic won the treble that season. So I don't think that's fair. But if Celtic fans are now looking at January thinking, well, the saving grace is there's a transfer window in January, I'm not sure about that, because the Celtic board had an opportunity to back the manager in this transfer window in the summer for the whole season and didn't do it. Now, if they've done that because they don't believe that Brendan Rodgers is there for the long haul, are they going to be inclined to spend big in the January window when there's only 6 months left? I don't know. I don't know. It's not a happy place. You could see the place emptying out. The atmosphere was terrible. You know, the Celtic fans said that they were going to hold off with the 29-minute silence, but I'm not sure everybody got the memo because the place was, you know, the atmosphere I just think was so limp from kickoff. I can't really blame the fans for that. You're then looking for the players to do something to get them motivated and get them up for it. The players didn't respond. And so that looks to me like there's a kind of multitude of issues that need resolved. And the potential for this to be a really awkward season for Celtic.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the one man in Scotland that will be watching all of this tonight and rubbing his hands with a big smile on his face is the Hearts manager, Derek McInnes.
No.
Who else? This has been a terrible night all round for Scottish football. But if you're Derek McInnes, you're absolutely loving it. Probably sitting there with a nice glass of red wine, thoroughly enjoying himself.
Charlie in the comments says the best medicine for the Old Firm is Hearts to win the league. Celtic might spend some money then. And a couple of people pointing out as well that Gustav Lagerbielke was a standout.
Best performance that he's ever put on at Celtic Park.
I thought he was
in Glasgow for that matter.
I thought he was brilliant.
Superb.
He was really good.
He was superb, and he identified the threat that Tanecki was bringing down Celtic's left, and he got across to him and he helped double up with his fullback, and his distribution was good, you know. And again, if you're Mark Lowell, if you're Peter Lowell, you might be looking at that saying, "I told you he was a player."
yeah, that's true. And look, the game next at the weekend for Celtic is Motherwell. And I think that's got potential to be a really tricky game. They started brilliantly, Motherwell. Their manager the other night saying, look, we're going there to win.
It does, and if you look at the stats in terms of the teams in the Scottish top flight right now, Motherwell's possession stats, their passing stats, the sort of, and I'm not a great one for stats. I'm more one for going with what you see with your own eye. Motherwell are a really good side to watch. Motherwell have taken the whole Russell Martin philosophy. They've just implemented it properly, the way it should look. And granted, they're doing it in a shoestring. And if they had money to buy a striker, I think they'd be a really serious outfit. They will be a serious outfit. What are they, fourth in the table just now?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And they're on merit. And that's without a real clinical edge to most of the really good forward play. Motherwell will give Celtic a real game. And yeah, if you're a Celtic fan right now, I don't think you're looking forward to that game particularly. It's they've managed to get themselves into some mess. The big two.
In a short space of time in Celtic's case as well.
And I'm just not sure. As I said, Celtic's way out. The fans will hope it's in January. But I just, why would the board, if they weren't prepared to back the manager in the summer, why are they going to spend emergency money in January? I'm just not sure, Dan. I'm really not sure. And the lack of, I mean, this is a Celtic side that you're used to watching them tear teams apart. From the first minute in matches, especially at Celtic Park, get in the front foot, turn them, panic them, get an early goal, frazzle their senses. That's what Celtic are all about. It's just not there. It's nowhere near there. I mean, how many real efforts did Celtic have in goal tonight? Tanecki had one in the first half.
Tierney's header in the second half. Tanecki in the second half.
3 saves.
3 saves, aye. Can't think of any others.
The goalkeeper was good, by the way.
Aye, he was good, aye.
But, this isn't Celtic. This is a pale imitation. Celtic and Rangers, they're imposters.
Before we wrap up, Keith, because we've been rabbiting on for almost 40 minutes now, should we quickly mention Aberdeen? Because, look, they lost 3-2 at home to Shakhtar Donetsk tonight.